A husband dies suddenly in the middle of the night. His wife says she woke up and found him cold beside her. At first, it looked like a tragic and unexpected loss. A grieving widow, 3 young sons without their father, and a family trying to move on. But then, the widow did something that made national headlines. She wrote a children's book about coping with grief, telling her sons that even though their father was gone, his spirit was still with them. To many, it looked like a mother trying to heal her family. But behind that public image, prosecutors say there was another story. A story of hidden debts, a secret affair, deleted phone messages, and a husband who allegedly told friends weeks before his death that he believed his own wife was trying to poison him. Then came the most shocking twist of all. Years after his death, her own children spoke in court, not to defend their mother, but to ask the judge to keep her locked away forever. This is the disturbing case of Kouri Richins and the death of her husband, Eric Richins. Before the headlines, Kouri Richins appeared to live a normal life in Utah. She was a mother of 3 and worked in real estate. Her husband, Eric Richins, was a successful contractor and businessman. Friends described him as hardworking and deeply involved in providing for his family. From the outside, they looked like a stable family. But according to prosecutors, their marriage was quietly breaking apart. Investigators later revealed that the couple had been facing serious financial tension. Court records showed that Eric had discovered what prosecutors described as misuse of his money by Kouri. As a result, he reportedly began changing important parts of his financial plans. He met with an attorney and updated his estate documents. He removed Kouri from certain assets. He also changed some life insurance beneficiaries. That decision would later become one of the central pieces of the prosecution's motive. Because prosecutors said Kouri was facing increasing financial pressure. Her real estate ventures were reportedly struggling. She had debts, and Eric's death could give her access to millions of dollars in insurance payouts and property. But investigators say there was another motive, a secret relationship. According to court filings, Kouri had been involved in an affair with another man while still married. Prosecutors referred to him as her paramour. They argued she wanted a future with this man, a new life that may have been difficult if she divorced Eric and lost access to his wealth. That affair became a major theme during the case. To prosecutors, the combination of money problems and a hidden relationship created a motive for murder. Everything changed on March 4, 2022. That night, Kouri said she and Eric had been celebrating one of her business deals. She told investigators she made him a drink and brought it to their bedroom. Later, she said one of their sons was scared and sleeping badly, so she went to stay in the child's room. Hours later, she said she returned to the master bedroom and found Eric unresponsive. She called 911 at around 3:20 in the morning. At first, his death seemed unexplained, but the autopsy changed everything. Eric Richins had a lethal amount of fentanyl in his system, several times the amount considered fatal. Authorities quickly began investigating his death as a homicide. As detectives dug deeper, they uncovered something even more disturbing. According to prosecutors, weeks before Eric died, there may have been an earlier attempt. On Valentine's Day 2022, Kouri allegedly left him a sandwich before leaving to meet another man. After eating it, Eric reportedly became severely ill. He called friends and said something chilling, "I think my wife tried to poison me." He also reportedly used an EpiPen and took medication, believing he was having an allergic reaction. He survived that incident, but investigators later believed it may have been a failed poisoning attempt. Then came testimony from a woman connected to the case. A house cleaner who worked for Kouri told police that Kouri had asked her to obtain fentanyl pills. The woman said she bought the pills from a dealer and gave them to Kouri. Investigators said Kouri later asked for stronger drugs, allegedly referring to them as the Michael Jackson stuff. Within days, Eric was dead. Digital evidence became another key part of the prosecution's case. Investigators said Kouri deleted more than 800 text messages from her phone. They also found internet searches after Eric's death involving life insurance payments, women's prisons, how police recover deleted messages, and what poisoning looks like on a death certificate. To prosecutors, the pattern suggested planning and consciousness of guilt. In May 2023, more than a year after Eric's death, police arrested Kouri Richins. The arrest shocked the nation. Only weeks earlier, she had been promoting a children's book called Are You With Me? The book was written about grief and losing a parent. It was supposedly created to help her 3 sons cope after their father's death. The contrast was startling. A woman publicly speaking about healing after loss was now accused of causing that loss. The trial became one of the most closely followed murder cases in Utah. Prosecutors argued that Kouri poisoned Eric for money and to start a new life with her lover. The defense argued there was no direct evidence proving she physically gave Eric the fentanyl. They questioned witnesses. They challenged the drug source. They insisted the prosecution's case was built on assumptions. But the jury ultimately found Kouri guilty. She was convicted on multiple charges, including aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, and fraud-related offenses. Many believe that was the end of the story. But in 2026, the case took an even more emotional turn. On March 16, 2026, a jury found Kouri Richins guilty on all major charges in the death of her husband, Eric Richins. The jury convicted her of aggravated murder for poisoning Eric with a fentanyl-laced drink inside their Utah home. She was also found guilty of attempted aggravated murder for the earlier Valentine's Day poisoning attempt, along with insurance fraud and forgery charges connected to her efforts to collect money after his death. Then, on May 13, 2026, the same day that would have been Eric's 44th birthday, the judge delivered the final sentence. Kouri Richins was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge said she was too dangerous to ever be released back into society. He also ordered that her other prison terms for attempted murder, fraud, and forgery run consecutively, meaning she will spend the rest of her life behind bars. During sentencing, Kouri spoke briefly and maintained that she loved her children. But the most emotional moment came when statements from her 3 sons were read in court. The boys said they were afraid of their mother. They asked the judge to make sure she never came home. For many people following the case, that was the moment that made the tragedy feel even more devastating, not just because a husband was killed, but because 3 children lost both parents in one crime, their father to death and their mother to prison forever. What do you think about this shocking update in the Kouri Richins case? Do you believe the children's statements reveal the truth about what happened inside that house? Or do you think there are still hidden details the public has not heard? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy true crime documentaries, courtroom stories, and real criminal case updates, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more real cases. Because sometimes, the most haunting testimony does not come from detectives or prosecutors. It comes from the children who were there.